Oh, we're good now. All right, cool. This is a Sasquatchers episode. We're gonna talk some cool stuff. We have a cool guest here, and you know the drill. After the intro, we're gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself. But guard your ears because this one's typically loud.
It's not that loud compared to other intros.
But forgot to give him the warning. And here we are. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and without further ado, just kick it over to our guest for the evening and let him introduce himself to you all.
Hello, Drew and JC and everyone out there. I am the Reverend Victor S. Johnson. I've been places you've only read about. I host Destination Spooky, my YouTube channel. I write for Eerie Expeditions magazine, the newsletter, very specific. I was a tour guide for some time in the greater Philadelphia area in a couple of markets. And I also write in my spare time and travel as much as I can.
What did you do in Philadelphia? Was it like spooky related or just like regular stuff related? Like here's the bell.
We worked the bell into a ghost tour that I did for a company. The bell isn't haunted. It might be cursed, but basically it's because you can see it at night from the outside because it's lit up. So we just made it a stop on one of the tours. I did do spooky tours, but also I did Segway tours during the day. Those are historical tours on a Segway.
It's pretty sweet. I have been to Philadelphia maybe 3 times, and I was in and out, and I honestly couldn't get out of there soon enough. I hated Philadelphia every time I was there. Every time I was there.
Alienating fans right now.
Just drive, dude. Driving like to the children's hospital there was the most anxiety I've ever had in my entire life. It was just crazy rough. And I saw Metallica there once, and it was a wild evening. I had somebody trying to come into my hotel room, and if I didn't have like that little turn key thing that locks at the top of hotel doors shut, he would have just been in the room. So yeah, it was just weird, anxiety-ridden experiences in Philadelphia. I've never gotten to actually take in any of the historical magnificence that the town has to offer. So,
I mean, I don't think Philadelphia is really that bad, right? Like, there's good food, there's culture, there's the Rocky cinematic where you run up the steps at the building.
It smells pretty bad. I mean,
does
but
it?
yeah, it's not bad though. It's got its charm. Oh, one more thing I missed from the intro. I think I'm in the Smash independent movie of Dyson Men 2, but I never got confirmation if you used my recordings or not.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I sent Drew a screen test because he was asking for YouTuber reactions, and like I made a couple, and I don't know if they were used or not.
Drew,
I'll have to double check.
Answer, man.
Yeah, I sent you a link to the Google Drive.
Yeah, you're literally called out like right now in this recording.
I never got, and then all of a sudden it was like, "Hey, you want to do the podcast?" I'm like, "Was I in the movie?"
Drew does. To be fair, Drew doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he lost all of like everybody's like sign off for like the movie.
I didn't get a waiver, so
yeah, okay, yeah. Awesome, Drew. Thanks.
Here's the thing. Here's what's happened. Okay,
piece of shit.
We had an editor, and the movie came back, and we weren't happy with it, so we were trying to go in and save it, and we've like gotten it to a place where we feel really good about it, but it's not been submitted to the distribution yet. So we're still working kinks and stuff out. And I probably will have to find a waiver. I had everybody sign them, and they all disappeared. I don't know what happened. I had them all saved on my iPhone.
I don't think I ever signed one.
So I have been chasing people around collecting those again because I am trying to.
I don't even know if the demo was good enough, let alone if I saw a waiver. So,
trust me, if it was good enough. It's just like funny little things. Donald Farmer, our pal, famous director, just kind of used his phone and it was turned sideways, and we just fit everything in the way that we could. But yeah,
it was a weird recording because like nobody could get together except for like Drew and like one other person, and like everything else was filmed remotely. So it's really experimental from like that standpoint. But like, yeah, don't let Drew screw you over, man.
Residuals will be in the mail.
Count on it. So far from YouTube, I got a free burrito and a movie ticket. I'm looking to beat that. So.
We might be able to do that. Movies are expensive, though. So we might be able to do the burrito.
Yeah. You can have my burrito.
I'll send you a Taco Bell coupon.
Yeah.
This is Drew's awkward laugh now that he's like been called out.
I mean, I don't feel called out.
It wasn't a confrontation. It's just like a great anecdote, Yeah. And I was gonna leave it there.
Oh, I'm confronting him right now.
I have so many kids. I just am so sidetracked right now.
I mean, that's a you problem, dude. These kids didn't just pop into existence.
I don't know. Some of them might have. We're on a paranormal talk show right now. They very much could have just came from nowhere. So
you can have my next burrito coupon if I can get a craft services director credit.
that might be doable. I have the final cut is almost ready to go. I did the trailer and I sent that over to the distribution and the cover art. So we're nearing completion of the project. Everybody will be alerted. And when it's out, maybe we'll do like a watch party or something on here, depending how many people we can get.
We did that one time.
Yeah, we did. But that was for special features. This one could just be celebratory, where everybody who took the time to participate in this movie.
It's definitely going to be celibate after people see the movie.
Throw tomatoes at me through their cameras on their phones or laptops. Because I'm not a highbrow director. We could just kind of leave it at that. There's a lot of goofy stuff, but yeah,
I'm sorry, Victor, that he had to put you through this.
I mean, it's part of the process. Get used to it in the industry.
Yeah, do it. That's a good lesson to learn because every one of us have been put through that ringer for far smaller productions, actually.
Yeah, I wish I could say that was a joke, but that was dead on.
Right. I had so one time I had my I did art for this movie, and like I did like all of the posters, DVD cover arts, all that stuff. I didn't put a lot of time in it. I think in total it was like between 8 and 16 hours of work over a period of time. But it was like a movie with a Confederate Yeti, essentially. It was a zombie movie with a Confederate Yeti. And so I went out and I got this Yeti mask and I took pictures of it. And then I got like actual photographs of Confederate uniforms. And I built this thing digitally from the ground up. And they sent what I did out to California. Somebody, ran through it with a couple of changes, and they just completely stole my concept and put it out in a different way that they liked, and there was nothing I could do about it. And that was like my first introduction to like the movie business. Like, all right, I didn't even get a credit,
I'm
much
sorry
less
to hear
paid
that,
or anything else. So yeah, no, even the cheapest production, they find ways to screw people over if they can. And other than that, I had a lot of fun working on that movie. I was several characters in the movie as an actor. I did a second unit thing where I was helping direct some stuff, some puppetry. I did a lot of work on that movie actually. But yeah,
what's this have to do with Victor?
nothing. We're talking about how the business will just chew you up and spit you out. That way, the kid knows.
Yeah,
like,
JC,
we're 10 minutes in, man.
Exactly. That's 12 minutes of entertaining filler. It takes the edge off of whatever we were going to talk about.
But here we are. We'll talk about you. I tried doing Philadelphia stuff. We talked to a historian last night, so I was kind of feeling like some historical stuff. But we can, we'll start at the beginning. What drew you to do spooky stuff?
Well, and I use this anecdote often, but it is kind of my origin story. When I was like 7, my mom tried to get me involved in a seance with a Ouija board. That story is not interesting on any paranormal level. Like, I didn't see anything frightening. I didn't feel away. There was no demons. I didn't get like possessed or jacked up. It was mainly just like, regular childhood traumatic. And that's really all I have to say there. But I did take an interest. She had those, if you remember the Time Life books that were like black hardcovers that had those like awesome cover arts on them. She had a subscription for those. And I would read them in my spare time. And that's what kind of started it. I then got into reading about maritime disappearances, like the Bermuda Triangle stuff and things like that. And it just kind of went from there.
Okay, I remember the Time Life infomercials on like cable TV at like 2:00 in the morning when I was watching Cartoon Network or something when I was a kid, but I never actually had like seen one in person. So is that like all topics, or did they just like talk about weird stuff, or?
It was like there was a series they did entirely on supernatural stuff, like psychic stuff. Psychics was one. Astral projection, I think, was another. And then just like ghosts and spirituality and whatnot. They were really cool looking, and I remember those particular commercials like looked like a trailer for an Unsolved Mysteries episode. They were really high production values.
Yeah, I remember that. That's cool. That's cool that you had that. When I was a child, like my intro was, aside from also similar weird childhood traumas like that, watching Unsolved Mysteries and my one grandma claiming to have candles that lit up if a ghost was around. So like
it was Robert Stack.
Yeah. And it's cool how like something like that can terrify one kid. Like my kids literally they get scared from a YouTube video or like when SpongeBob's eyes come out during a gag. Like they're terrified. But like, like when we were younger, we have like these horrific spooky things, and like
we had goosebumps.
Changes you for life, and here you are like years later, and it's kind of like an interest of yours. But where do you stand on the Bermuda Triangle? Is that something that you like got super into? Like, you ever like get deep into the Bermuda Triangle stuff?
Well, yeah, I sort of started looking into vortexes sort of where I could anywhere in the world. There are a lot in the United States. There's like a triangle in every other state at this point. But I like the idea of just unsolved disappearances. I romanticize it often, although I shouldn't. There are tragedies, but it's just like it kind of lingers with you not knowing that not knowing how someone died, if that makes sense. Like, even though this person, like, for say Ambrose Bierce, the old like horror writer who died in the, well, we don't know, disappeared in the very early 20th century in Mexico. Technically, he never died. You don't know where he is. You get dead in absentia, which to me is fascinating.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And then also kind of like your imagination, it allows your imagination to kind of take over. And it's not so much like here's this person who's disappeared or dead somewhere, but like, he could be hanging out with Elvis on a ski resort or something.
Yeah.
Like it just like your mind could
sounds
run
very
wild
serial killer-ish.
I mean, yeah, that may be a little bit.
I think Ed Gein operated on this, right?
They found Ed
what happened to
Gein's
the lady?
victims. He was wearing them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cut and dry.
Her.
What other vortexes? Are there any that are like worth talking about? I kind of vaguely remember hearing about one in Connecticut that was. Do you remember what that was, JC?
Dudleytown.
Yeah.
And I've been there.
Yeah, okay. Did you? How did that visit go?
Well, we don't know if I actually made it within the town boundaries. Anyone in Connecticut will tell you I did not. Anyone else, however, I got a lot farther than, say, Mr. Ballin, not to shade him. But with Dudleytown, it's that old abandoned settlement from way back when, like the 18th century, where it was cursed, nothing went right. People died under mysterious circumstances, including disappearances. A lot of people went mad. There were multiple lightning strikes on the same home at a point, and then it was kind of closed down by the Dudleytown Association, which is shrouded in mystery. It's very dark. The name of the forest is the name of the road is Dark Entry Road, and I want to say it's Dark Entry Forest, and that's because the trees block out the sun for all intents and purposes, so equilibrium does kind of go weird. The skeptical belief is that there's a certain moss that grows in Dudleytown because of how the sun sort of isn't there that may lead to the madness, and that could be a thing. When I went, there was a feeling of uneasiness and being watched as I was climbing. What I did was I started off Dark Entry Road at the bottom of Dudleytown Hill, and I tried to climb up instead of going down the Wolf Trail, where I might have been arrested for trespassing had I done that. And about halfway up, I got a really terrible migraine, and I never get migraines. And I sort of ran down the hill and exited off the road at that point. It's very strange. There was like an old rusted out car from the 60s. I want to say a Beetle. But it looked like it hadn't been touched in years.
You kind of briefly touched on like a good point I wanted to ask about with some of these travels that you do. Like, is trespassing a big issue, and like, is that something that you're willing to risk sometimes, or have you maybe been faced with police persecution for some of this stuff, or have you just been able to kind of explore at your free will most of the time?
I don't know because I've never trespassed.
We'll add sound effects.
We're gonna have to stop this end recording.
For the most part, I'm left alone. My rule is if I don't see a no trespassing sign, who's to say? I have not run into authority yet, of which it's been an issue. And most of my stops are actually like haunted hotels for that very reason, because, not only is it easy to get in, you usually get a breakfast afterwards.
That's sound thinking. Have a nice bowl of
Steak
cereal.
and eggs, Meg. Steak and eggs.
Yeah, something that I wish I had known when JC and I were doing our Melonheads documentary a while back, and it
2
turned out
years
that
ago.
yeah, so a lot of the area that we were trying to research ended up having like post-it notes all over it. So
They weren't post-it notes; they were posted signs for trespassing.
I didn't say posted. I said posted. I enunciated, but we ended up finding like an entrance off of this area that was not posted into this creek. And at the time, I had not yet known that the water is owned by everyone, and so that even on private property, if you can get into a body of water and work your way through, it's not illegal for you to be in that body of water. So that's kind of something that I wish I had known sooner.
It wasn't even the body of water; it was the shoreline too. We were completely within our legal realm.
Right. Yeah, but from that shoreline, we could have jumped in that water and walked all the way up to the area that we wanted to. But
we could also jumped up to somebody's house and robbed them.
Was that Helltown?
Yeah. No. Helltown is
a park
sorry, I'm
now.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's actually nothing. They've removed everything from there. It's completely cordoned off. It's just overgrown trees. There's nothing there. Like if you go right now and look, there's nothing.
Or is that just what they want you to think?
I know people that went there and there's nothing there.
But yeah, we were looking to do some like urbex stuff over in Helltown.
Yeah, we did wanted to go there to do it, and that's why I was like, no, let's not, because it's a waste of time.
I think it's finally a park now. Like I ended up in like between Columbus and like Canton. I want to say where Helltown was supposed to be, and it's like a park in a pioneer village. And I was like, well, this is pleasantly disappointing. It's a very nice hiking trail, but it all like if you listen to a skeptical documentary on Helltown, it was always supposed to be a park since the Carter administration. They just never got around to it. And then the stories kind of spread. That's if you believe that. But I don't know. There's like a burial mound nearby, which Ohio is famous for. But I didn't get anything there.
The entire state's a burial mound.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, wait. I think there's multiple Helltowns, because I think the one that Drew and I are talking about is actually on the west side of Cleveland, like out towards Huron. In that, I think the one you're talking about is down between Mansfield and Canton.
That sounds right.
So I think there's a couple different Helltowns.
Well, that's confusing.
But
it's like how Ohio has a Miami as well.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Miami. And there's also a Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. There's a Delaware too. Like
there is a Delaware.
It's
Ohio is just like, yeah, we're taking everybody's names.
Exactly.
We're going to take your name and we're going to make our land flatter. It's like
we got corn here, boys.
There is
oh, go ahead.
There is a story of a vortex in Ohio, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Crown City.
I think Drew's talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Crown City, Drew?
Oh, I don't know. You actually have me hooked.
Well, there's a couple. The hell vortex that you talked about was in Chardon, so not Crown City.
So no, that wasn't a hell. That wasn't a vortex. That was a hell mouth. So depending on what your definition of a vortex is, that hellmouth thing is like it's like a full-on entry to hell, supposedly.
Right. Vortex would be a space and time gate where that doesn't make sense.
Now, where's that supposed to be?
The vortex in Crown City next to the church. I actually went there. I ended up doing a great video on it for my initial, because as I drove out there from Point Pleasant, like 20 minutes, it was like there was nothing I was expecting to see, and nothing happened on my little investigation, which if you've ever seen my channel, I don't do much. I pull out like a few things, do a quick song and dance, and then I'm out of there. But from the little 3 minutes, like I started to research what happened. There's this book I have called Haunted Places, The National Directory by Dennis William Hawke. It's a book I bought as a teenager when we still had Borders books. And I still have it, and I use it sort of as my little makeshift Bible. It just tells you where to go, what's haunted. It has these little blurbs and cities and whatnot, and I'll cross-reference them before a road trip with the internet to make sure the thing still exists. So I find myself in Crown City one day, and the blurb was in 1953, I believe, like I don't have the book in front of me right this second, so I'm paraphrasing, but in 1953 in Crown City, Ohio, a house appeared out of nowhere next to the church and stayed there for several weeks before disappearing. That's all I have to go on, and that's great writing, because I'm like, I got to see where this happened at the very least. I'm not going to see a temporal displacement house, but I got to see what happened. I got to know what was here. And I got more into the story, and it was actually only a couple of minutes at a time, but basically someone who lived next to the church saw a house that like wasn't ever there. He just looks out his window one day, there's a little like stone house. It then just vanishes. He tells everybody. You've been to Crown City, it's a localized open air town, and everybody knows about it. A few months later, 2 older gentlemen coming out of church see a 2-story house on the back lot behind that church. Different house, different intentions, but it made national news, apparently, at least through the newspapers. And I'm getting into all these stories, and I learned a lot about like a woman who was the first senior woman to conquer the Appalachian Trail. She was like in her 60s, and she was from Crown City. She was married to one of the people who saw one of the houses. It's madness, but in a good way.
Yeah. For reference, Crown City is very southern Ohio against the West Virginia border. Like
right
Huntington. Yeah, it's like it's real down there.
I've never heard of this. This is actually super cool.
I've been there.
I might have to make a trip. You said that was not far houses. From. You said that wasn't far from or was it Point Pleasant?
Yeah,
it's like 20 minutes if you cross the bridge.
Cool. So you kind of turn that. We could.
The main bridge right down there in Huntington. You go across and you're like already there.
I've never been down there. I'm very firmly planted in Pennsylvania. I don't really leave. I'll go to Ohio once in a while, but other than that, I have like that.
Heads.
I have that Charlie Kelly syndrome from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where I start to have anxiety if I leave the town that I live in. It's just that's probably why I hated Philadelphia so much. I'm an agoraphobic who has to leave the house to pay the bills, so that's it's kind of my situation. But so I have been looking through your Destination Spooky YouTube, and so you have a video here. It's not long. It just says, "Did Annabelle burn down a mansion?" And you posted that 3 months ago. Yep. And so, like, Annabelle has been in the news a lot lately again, and there's obviously that fervor of I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but the gentleman who died after doing a tour with her, and then of course the internet ran wild with that nonsense, and so Annabelle's hot right now. So do you have any insight on this mansion thing? I've not heard of that. I remember like a car accident that she was involved with supposedly, and I'm not sure how much I really trust or believe the Warrens. I've heard so much on both sides. And just as somebody who's interested in this stuff, I just kind of find myself right down the middle, and I kind of listen to both sides of the argument.
Well, the story they came out with was And full disclosure, while I can't disprove that Annabelle is bunk, or I can't prove that it's bunk, I can't disprove that it's not real, however that is.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a stance on it. I think it's been sensationalized to high hell. That video I made was a bit of a satire that actually is sort of thought provoking, because I was like, if the doll is real, sue the owner, because someone should be responsible for the evil things it does, right? And
Right?
if
Like
it's
you can't just run unfettered and
yeah,
do all these evil things without some kind of like
and
ownership.
yeah, and if it's not real, we're gonna find that out in Discovery, so it's a win-win. And that's all I was saying. But the idea was they took it down to New Orleans to Ghost City tours for an appearance, and the point was, with some people, it was never supposed to be removed from Connecticut. And that day, a plantation about 100 miles west burnt down, and there was also a prison break. I think that was in New Orleans, but it might have been outside of New Orleans, and that was attributed to the doll, and that's kind of been what's going around lately. I don't think the doll burned down a mansion, no, but there's
So
one way to find out, which is lawsuit.
I have a recent weird Annabelle thing. Annabelle, right before that tour ended and he died, Annabelle was in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and I work, I don't know, probably 45 minutes away from there. And I was at work, and every single one of us, our phones go off, and the entire state's 911
911 system went down, yeah.
went down. And that was the same day that Annabelle was passing through Pennsylvania. So it was like one of those like stupid, eerie coincidences where you never should make any type of correlation between the two. But because that doll has such a reputation, it's like in the 37 years I've been alive, that's never happened. And now Annabelle's here, and bam, it happens. It is unique that where that doll goes, like weird coincidences do happen. So like I can see where like that sensationalism is just compounding and compounding and compounding because of things like that. Because like everyone at work, once that happened, was like, "Dude, that doll." It's just like, yeah.
They weren't the only ones, but like I said, if you sue them, then somebody is finally held accountable. So there we are.
Right. But yeah, so
I mean, I'm gonna sue the doll for like everything that's ever happened in my life.
it could work. Our justice system is pretty crazy and broken right now.
Compared to what?
I don't know. I guess how it used to be.
Like
We found
Eastern, how it used to be?
We found it, dude. We found out last night. You used to be able to arrest and sue people for being ugly.
No, we didn't find that out because it only worked in certain circumstances, and I was going to bring it back.
So
that's why the court of public opinion is now the only governing court in the land.
Unfortunately, yeah. Public opinion's kind of stupid most of the time too.
So they already called me ugly.
I mean, they're not lying.
Hey. Come on, be nice.
Yeah, you have a video I'm gonna watch here, but maybe I want to ask you about it with the Queen Mary. You have it listed as a night with 57 ghost greetings from the Queen Mary. So I assume you were on there and spent some time, and may or may not have spent some time with some ghosts.
What's funny, what would be funnier is if I hadn't been on there. But yeah, I went to the Queen Mary. It was one of my paranormal bucket list places. Especially, the Queen Mary had some issues, not only during COVID, but after we came out of lockdown, because it turns out the boat was unsafe. Like, it was getting ready to capsize, and it just sits in port as a hotel, and the city had to do...
Is that the boat that's in like Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
the one in Long Beach, and
Long Beach. Yep.
it was barely seaworthy. Like it doesn't do anything. It sits at a dock, and you stay on it. But it was like ready to capsize apparently. So they had to take it, like they had to close it for a year. The city paid to do renovations and whatnot. So I saw the opportunity to stay on it finally. I had a trip out to California by way of Nevada, and I decided to get on the Queen Mary. Now, the title A Night with 57 Ghosts is actually like some sort of play they have on the boat, I think. And that literally, I saw the sign going through the hotel, A Night with 57 Ghosts. I'm like, that's a good title. Now, my SEO, you wouldn't know that's a good title because the views on that video, absolute shit. But I do love the title. In that video, which I'm proud of, I accidentally stumble onto paranormal activity while I'm filming B-roll. And I left that in during the video so you could see that. There are footsteps behind me audibly while I'm recording.
Wow.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
A night with 50 Cent.
He I don't know anything about 50 Cent. I was gonna try to make it.
Yeah, I don't either.
He does not like to roll.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt this.
But so what drew you to the Queen Mary? Is it just kind of the stories that may have come from it, or are you like kind of super into like, is nautical paranormal a subgenre?
If not, it should be. One of my favorite stories, a true story, would be the Mary Celeste, and no one knows if that's paranormal. It's likely not, but they found it listing at sea with just completely abandoned. There was no sign that anyone was on the boat, but it looked like they were just there
in the northern Atlantic, right? Like it was just, yeah.
And like none of the lifeboats were missing, as I recall. Maybe one or something. It just didn't make sense.
No, they had like a passenger log of like 100 people, and there was nobody. No bodies were ever found. No capsized escape boats or anything.
Arthur Conan Doyle actually wrote a Sherlock Holmes story about it, and like I think that kind of got my interest going. There's a lot of great sea tales, so maybe there is something to that. I'm not often on boats, so but I am fascinated by them.
Was that one of the sources of inspiration for the Philadelphia?
For the X-Files, there was an X-Files episode about it.
I feel like the Philadelphia experiment might have been a derivative of that, or like
maybe. I think it's a little bit different.
The film,
very different.
But that might be worth getting into. I mean, that was like vortexy.
That was well, I've actually studied the Philadelphia experiment. Funny enough, because there's an interesting side story. The Philadelphia experiment was a dude from kind of where you are, Drew, trolling another guy who wrote about UFOs to the point where the guy like ended his own life. It was insanity, but that was the entire purpose of it. And people began to believe that the troll was like a real thing that happened.
Worked himself into a shoot.
Yeah, basically. Okay. I mean, that's not unheard of in our community. People get real crazy when it comes to their beefs, for sure. But yeah, I feel like that's been left off of any Coast to Coast AM episodes I've ever heard about it. I'm gonna have to learn more about that.
I covered it in an April Fool's video. Funny enough, the picture is really bad, but it is on my channel.
I'll go bookmark that at some point.
The video's upside down. It was a real mess, but all the lore is perfect. The lore is spot on. It's just the video is really bad, so I apologize.
I thought that was part of the gag there for a second. Like
it was April Fool's, so I just let it go. But I would have preferred better quality.
Well, even with the rumor of the Philadelphia experiment, where bodies were found halfway upside down, like going through the. So, yeah, man, that's just part of the gag. Okay, so I'm gonna look into that one. That has my interest for sure. So other than footsteps, what kind of paranormal activity have you come across, man?
You end up with like EVPs, weird voices, and things like that. I think one of my best experiences was at the Park Central Albuquerque in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it used to be a hospital for the Santa Fe Railroad, but it also may have been a mental health hospital. When you get in there, they give you a pamphlet of history because it's a boutique hotel now. And it goes down a very sweet, reminiscing sort of, hey, here's how we helped people in 1912. But like, then you hear stories of, oh, actually, it was a place for disturbed teenagers. And, you get a terry cloth bathrobe and a very nice breakfast, 5 stars. But I stay there and I'm doing my little seancey bit with dowsing rods. And, well, according to them, and I can never confirm or deny the existence of spirits, there was someone in my closet watching me sleep. Now, I learned not to do the seance before bed, always after I wake up because of that. The nightmare I had after that was absolute madness. Something was crawling from the closet onto the ceiling above me, and I watched this like an out of body experience. That being said, I went downstairs, had a delicious stuffed mushroom breakfast,
Oof.
like 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only like
Wow.
half taken off was the thing in my closet.
Sounds very in the Mouth of Madness, Event Horizon, but the breakfast was spot on.
Oh yeah.
And you checked to make sure that there wasn't like some psycho kind of situation
Now
where
wait a
they're
minute.
like
He didn't go that
standing
far.
in.
He just ate
I know.
breakfast. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I did look in there. I think that's in the video. There was nothing in there with me. I checked my exits. You got to do that in Albuquerque, but not to throw shade on the city. It's a very beautiful city. It's just you do.
So I remember being very young, and also I lived in this
Very
apartment,
stupid.
and I also, well, to this day, I never grew out of that. I had a closet, and I very often felt like there was like something in that closet that was going to attack. Like it always felt like something was leering at me, and this was like I don't know. I don't know if I would call it Section 8 housing or anything, but I'm the I have teen parents essentially. Like I was the product of like 15-year-olds who made a bad decision in the 80s. So like the different
And
parents
you
were,
were born of the bad decision.
yeah, I'm the one that lived. And the so is that something are you familiar with like
Bad parenting in the 80s? Yes.
I would hope that we could relate on that level, but
All right. On that note, done.
something that, as far as paranormal goes, and even in horror movies, I've always been fascinated with this, and I think it's because when I grew up in this environment where I was in like this apartment building where there's multiple people, uh, just the idea of like haunted apartments and I don't know, high rises and that kind of stuff where it's super modernized, but you just have like crazy paranormal activity happening where you really, it's very urban or advanced, or, like it's not like, oh, okay, well, here's this old creepy building that's been around for 300 years. So, like, have you ever experienced anything kind of like that in like a high populated, dense apartment kind of situation?
No, but I have heard stories in my travels, and I did speak to someone who lived in an apartment in a town in PA who actually had experienced more recent spirits, like from the 70s, according to them. So it's absolutely like possible to me, but I haven't experienced it beyond like, the past few centuries, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right. Yeah.
I think Drew's reading the plot to the movie Eraserhead.
I mean, I could be.
Philadelphia Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I've just come across one that I would be remiss if I didn't bring up here. You have vampire hunting in Richmond. Uh, is that kind of like a goof, or is there like an actual kind of vampire lore that you happen to be in the vicinity to check out?
God, people hated me for that one because I did it during the day. Yeah, I was in the vicinity. I took a trip to Richmond to see some stuff. I have a friend down there, and he told me about the vampire grave actually, and I looked it up real quick and I went over. It's that cemetery with the big Confederate monument that's a pyramid, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
there is a vampire story in there, and I covered the lore pretty well, but it is the day, so I'm not going to see a vampire, but it was fun to explore it and explore the backstory. I've got one coming out soon about a werewolf. Again, same handicaps there apply. I do that during the day, but it's a fun little vid.
Man, I used to really like those werewolf and vampire legends until the last couple of years when the dog man phenomenon like has just taken hold of the paranormal community, and like everybody's seen a dog man, and there's 6 or 7 different kinds of dog man now, and like it's mating season and they're gonna come get you.
Intergalactic dogmen.
Yeah.
I got one leg.
Like,
Those are shots fired in case you wouldn't know, but
inside
I think
joke.
I kind of know, yeah.
Do you? Do you?
Yeah, nothing I'm gonna repeat on a live.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I kind of know.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I loved like those old Victorian era, or even like the modern, the Beast of Bray Road. Like I'm super into those, and even if the videos that I'm watching take place during the day, I'm still gonna watch them because I enjoyed them. It's just talk about taking a dead horse and just beating it with a club. It's like, so what werewolf lore did you check out?
It's actually in Marietta, Pennsylvania, outside of Lancaster. This would be the grave of Hans Graf's family.
Not far from me.
That's real close to you.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with it though. Who are those people?
Please continue, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I came across that one. I forget how, and but I saw like Lancaster Werewolf, and I thought that was fun. I put that on a shirt, and I had an appearance in Gettysburg at Ghost City Tours. And by the way, shout out to Ghost City Tours. I'll be there Sunday, the 31st of this month, to do a meet and greet appearance again. But
Awesome.
I have the Lancaster werewolf design on a shirt, and someone asked me, "What can you tell me about the Lancaster werewolf?" And that's my hubris. I knew nothing about it. I figured they would know, so looked it up. Went to Marietta because I always got to see it. There was a Quaker by the name of Hans Graf, and he made a cemetery for his family, but he's not buried in it, and it's very weird. There's no gate into the cemetery. It's 4 stone walls. You actually have to climb over. They're only 3 feet high, and they're all buried there. It's a very old cemetery. It's on the side of a road, and apparently people in the either the late 19th or early 20th century were like in the graveyard for whatever reason, traveling the road, and they encountered a werewolf, which may or may not have been the Hans Graf. And these werewolf sightings continued into the 1980s,
Wow.
as I recall.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In Marietta,
I'm learning.
Marietta, Pennsylvania.
It's very strange. It's like literally off the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, but by the railroad tracks next to the Susquehanna.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a story that we ever hear.
Yeah, I grew up here.
Yeah,
This is
right.
the first I've heard of it.
I mean, there's a lot of things I never hear growing up either, but like we've heard like all kinds of things, like the monster of Butler County. We've heard about, obviously Mothman and stuff in Katanning,
squonks in Johnstown,
squonks in Johnstown. So yeah, that's super interesting. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's weird that hasn't made its way to us before now.
By the way, the first photo of the squonk, which was hand drawn, is actually the copyright expired. So I'm trying to figure out how to market this whole damn thing because we can do that now, but it's just like, the squonk is pathetic by its own description. So I'm like, how do I put this on a bumper sticker? So that's where I'm stuck at now. But it was 1910, so that was the first published picture of it.
Squonk me, baby, squonk me.
Yeah, we have Squonk Fest in Johnstown once every year. I've actually never been to it. I have this terrible job where I have to work weekends all the time, so all the fun stuff I get to miss out.
Yeah, he has this terrible job where he has to work. It's real sad.
But, there's a Squonk Fest if you're ever in the area. They have it during the summer. I think it coincides. It's not too far off from Mothman Fest. And another one that we have in PA, kind of in our area, is the what was the bell-shaped UFO?
Yeah, the UFO Kecksburg.
Yeah, Kecksburg. So Squonk Fest kind of happens in conjunction with those other two things. Where it's kind of like, you hit one, you hit one, you hit one, and then there's like that really big Bigfoot one that they do in Central PA. But yeah, Squonk Fest, it's growing. I think every year it's gotten bigger and bigger. It might be worth checking out. But I have a question about the werewolf again, because you said that you had a shirt with it, right? So a marketing opportunity there with Lancaster is, even if this dude was a Quaker, you should totally make shirts of an Amish werewolf. And because everywhere in Lancaster is just nothing but Amish people.
It didn't put the hat on, but yeah, it's actually wearing like a Quaker jacket. I had the idea because in Roswell, New Mexico, they have an independent league baseball team called the Invaders.
Yeah.
They lean into the alien thing, and I thought that was really cool. I wish more like minor league sports teams leaned into like the kooky stuff. So I came out with this series of like cryptid related baseball teams based on their home location. So it's a baseball theme shirt, the Lancaster Werewolves, even though you have the Barnstormers there. But no one knows where Marietta is, like unless they're in Marietta or adjacent to it. So I couldn't be like Marietta Werewolves.
I feel like we need to promote this because like they did the same thing with like, what was it, the Cosmic Elephants or whatever that team was
in Erie, right?
Yeah.
They just did that with John Oliver. He had a contest. A whole bunch of teams did it, but
but everybody's doing that. Like, I think you can do that for sure.
I think it's super cool marketing. That's a shirt I would buy for sure.
It's fun.
Yeah.
That's what the paranormal lacks a lot these days is fun. Everything is so cutthroat and everybody's trying to take each other's legs out from under them, and just leave it at that. I think every one of us has had like you made a leg joke. Unnecessary beef that nobody asked for. Like, we're just talking about werewolves and ghosts and aliens and stuff. Like, we don't even have like enough tangible evidence to even be credible one way or the other. Everybody has to be the next. Oh, we lost you for a second.
Yeah, nice, just the video again. Am I back?
No,
you're
good.
Back. Yeah, no, but like it's fun to like play with that stuff, right? Like like the merch that you can sell and stuff.
Yeah, and That's actually a good photo of me, so we could leave that up. Like, I'm smiling and I'm happy in it, so that's fine. We only have a couple of minutes left anyway. But I noticed recently in years that with cryptids, a lot of the cities and states where they exist in are becoming like territorial over them in a good way. Like, they're proud of their cryptid heritage. Like, that's if you think about it, we used to hunt the Jersey Devil. We used to shoot at it. We used to live in fear of it. Now it's the hockey team, and the devil is
Yeah.
celebrated all over the Jersey Shore. All
Right.
over. And there's a monument to him like every other town. And it's gotten that way where there are frequent Sasquatch sightings. It's especially prevalent with sea serpents, I've noticed. Like down in Chesapeake, Maryland, where I'm from, they have Chessie the sea monster, and I saw a boating place that was called Chessie's the other day. So I think that's a good thing. I think we should embrace it.
I mean, if nothing else, you have local tourist attraction and a revenue of tourist money that can come in. If we can learn anything from the Loch Ness monster, like, or even Roswell, like you pointed out, like this is a way to draw people in for a convention and raise your local restaurants' sales or other businesses. Like, I don't think there's anything objectively wrong with doing something like that, especially if the intentions are also like positive. Like, you can make money for your town and promote this thing
it's positive
in a healthy way.
Yeah, like Point Pleasant has really leaned into it so well. Even though that thing has a fantastic ass, they've leaned into the fantastic ass.
Great.
Yeah.
So all
of it. I put my hand up between the cheeks, and it was life changing.
I have not yet gotten to touch the cheeks of the Mothman yet, but I may or may not have a quarter set aside for the day that I finally make that trip. Just kind of stick it in there with the rest of them.
No, I take the quarters, so don't do that.
It should be illegal to do that. It's like
that was my lunch money, man. Like, come on.
It's like a wish well, man. You put your quarter in the butt cheeks and make a wish.
It won't.
I did. I made a wish that No, it just falls out.
Yeah,
and then
it's gonna roll out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I take it.
I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of pictures of people like finding quarters. Just kind of there's a way to do it, but it'll stay in there.
Well, I mean, you could do it with me.
I would stick with the Mothman. Actually, that's
fair.
But we hit that hour mark here pretty quick. This is a fun, interesting conversation. I feel like we barely even got into a lot of it. Do you have any other dates or links or anything that you want to promote while you're here to do it?
After Ghost City and Gettysburg, I actually have my schedule clear until November, when I will be at the Mysteries of the Fort Symposium in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'll be doing a panel there about being a paranormal author. Other than that, I'm just kind of going where the wind takes me now.
That's in November?
Yes, November 8th and 9th.
Man, that's Fort Wayne's only a couple hours from me. Just saying.
He might show up, he might not. He doesn't leave his house because he has brittle bone syndrome, and if he does, he gets sick.
Yeah, I also get RSV anytime I breathe air from outside. So
I made the joke about being.
If you show up, I'll have an autographed copy of one of my, hopefully, 2 books by the time I get there in November.
Awesome.
Yeah, sweet. Well, hey man, thanks for coming on and chatting. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, everybody check out the links, check out the books, check out the panels. He's a cool dude. Thanks for joining us, and everybody, you know the drill. He's gonna stumble around and find the outro while I mumble and bumble on. and then we will see you all later.
I can't find the outro.
This is classic.
Why? It's not here, man.
I'm looking right at it. I'll press the button. I got it.
Not the worst
thank you.
technical glitch that's happened tonight. So
The preceding program has been brought to you by the Watchers Podcast Network. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends to help grow our network. Check us out on all social media platforms, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, thanks for your support.
Did you kill the record?